One of the big name guys, Mason Graham. Graham talked about transitioning to the Browns style of defense from what he was coming from at Michigan.
I would just say that the play style, I feel like the Browns play a different play style than I played at Michigan, so kind of just adjusting to more of the attack front defense and, kind of more penetrating than, playing lateral, which I did in college. Coach Jock always talks about taking the handcuffs off. I feel like, maybe in the scheme I was playing in before, I might have had handcuffs off, moving more laterally. But I feel like, Coach Jock and Coach Morris, this attacking front will help me and, unleash some new things in my game, and I feel like I can, be a great player in this scheme.
And Lance, we've kind of talked about it when we've mentioned Graham. Former wrestler, knows leverage. That's what you want when you have an attacking front.
Well, yeah, like he's saying too. If you think about what it is, he's at Michigan. He was getting his hands on more of the offensive guy in front of him. Always got his hands on, playing some two gaps, extending that guy. Even though everybody thinks he has short arms, they didn't show up in college either, and I don't think they'll show up in the NFL. But at the line of he played more at the line of scrimmage, so he wasn't penetrating as much or getting upfield as much. With the Browns, they do a really good job. D-line coach is one of my favorites to watch. He does a great job. But they're going to do, more of getting in that gap and more of penetrating and Mason. So if you think about it, they will play some laterally on first and second down just because, you want to stop the run. But then they turn them loose a little bit. And, they'll do that on first and second too. Don't get me wrong. But Mason Graham's athletic ability allows him what he did at Michigan is harder to do than playing in the gap. When you play on the line of scrimmage, you got to be really strong. You got to take on double teams. You got to have great balance, great hands. All those things Mason Graham had, and then you got to be able to rush the passer in the NFL, which he can do too. So, 3-down defensive lineman, he'll get in that gap. He'll be tough to block, especially with all the focus going on Miles.